Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and lady, welcome back to podcast number 8. And this is the ExCo Lounge, ExCo Lounge. And I'm here with my lovely wife, Meredith Irvin. So beautiful, babe. And to someone that needs no introduction, Mr. Nick Mirabella.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
This is awesome. First, I love your background. And I know, Meredith, you don't like it, but that's like super professional.
Yeah.
I go on a lot of different shows. That's like legit what you guys have going on back there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I've been in the hair industry since 97. Started doing hair right after high school. Actually quit hair school to join the Marine Corps. Then I didn't go to the Marine Corps. Went back to hair school. And then I wound up, just doing hair. And then 9/11 happened. And then I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. I actually joined the Marine Corps then. So I traveled the world for a couple of years, got back out of the Marine Corps. And I was like, what am I going to do with my life right now? I was like, I'm really good at hair. So I dabbled around salon to salon. In my 20s was kind of like a little reckless. And I tried a bunch of different jobs. I tried, not careers actually, or businesses, I should say, not really jobs. Tried starting a website, didn't get that off the ground. I bartended. I tried a couple different other like MLM type companies. And then I got jammed up in my 30s, wrong place, wrong time. We'll save that story for another day. And I wound up getting rid of all my friends and starting all over again from scratch. So I started working in a hair salon again. And I had all this knowledge from the failed businesses, like from learning how to market, learning social media, learning how to build a website. And I took that into the salon industry. And I went from $0 a week. I was probably doing like 400 a week, honestly, and took my business from 4 to 4,000 in less than 6 months, strictly off of Facebook ads and social media marketing. And then I was like, wow, this really works. That in addition with the law of attraction and some other things we'll talk about. And then I was like, this can really work. So I really started learning about marketing, and I quickly went to, $30,000 plus a month behind the chair. And then I started learning how to build other people up. And you have to be good first at doing hair. You can't just suck and like market yourself. And I just really learned like our industry is missing the business side of things, the marketing side of things. And it's really just about personal brand. And once I really figured that out, I was able to help my team become successful behind the chair. And this industry truly did save my life because I was going down the wrong path. I had the wrong friends, and I've always been involved in self-development, and I just couldn't really apply anything. And I never thought to apply it to my position behind the chair. It was always like The Secret and the law of attraction and manifesting things into reality. And if you pray for it, it will come. And I was missing the hard work part of it that tied to the manifestation. And once I connected the dots of, I actually have to show up at the salon and do the work, but if I pray for it and I believe in it, it will happen as long as I'm there to receive what the universe is providing for me, or God, whatever you believe in. And that's like what really got me into like the coaching and the self-development aspect of my career where I'm at now. So it's been a fun journey. Like I'm 45 now. I started doing this at 18. I still feel like I'm 25. Wow. And every day I'm a student. So I try and learn every single day. And I'm maybe not learning like highlights and haircuts anymore, but I like to watch people and see what they do on social media, see how they're marketing their business, and see what worked. Like how did like a salon, like Meredith, you were in a salon and then you went off on your own, and that triggered something. You're super busy now, right? You're super successful behind the chair. What was that? What caused that to happen? I like to study success at that level. So share with me actually, because I'm interested in how you get in the meshes too.
Sure. Well, it happened because we didn't have a choice. I got fired at the same time that we put Herschel's house up on the market, and I was supposed to go on the mortgage with him. And, because I got let go, it was just so many things up in the air. And the house that we planned on building was, pretty expensive. So I didn't really have a choice. I didn't want to work for anybody else. And I found a suite and got into really just marketing extensions. But then I found some online education for mesh, and that's when I started doing that. But my website has really, really helped with advertising my work. But the fire under my butt was the fact that we were literally homeless. We were living in a condo until our house was done being built, and I had to have $30,000 to bring to the closing table. So I didn't have a choice.
You got to do it. Yeah, you got to burn all the boats, put your back in the corner. You could achieve great things.
Yes.
Were you in a commission salon?
I was in a commission salon, but my question to you is, how did you bring in 30 grand a month behind the chair, not having your own business? Were you being a W-2 employee?
No, I was 1099. I was a partner in a salon when I did that. So full transparency. Yeah. So I brought that in, but as commission wise, whether I was getting a commission or not, I would have done that, but I was a partner in that salon.
Okay.
Yeah. So but I was doing that now with extensions. That was like strictly, I was working 7 days a week.
Because how did you do that with that? Because the extensions is where you
make the money. Yeah. So I was doing full highlights. I'm very fast at what I do. And I have an assistant. So I was working with 2 or 3 assistants depending on the day. And I would work from 9 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I would just crush.
Yeah.
I was literally doing on average close to like 1,200 a day, 1,500 a day.
Right.
Good days. And that was with tips too, right? So that was 30K for the whole month, maybe a little more. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what, that's enough. Like, I don't want to grow anymore because I physically couldn't do it. And so I was just consistently averaging that, 5K a week. That's what my new norm was. So for me to do 1,000 a day, 5 days a week was relatively easy.
Right.
Because I always had a lot of clients. Like, there's something in our industry now where people want to just do 1 client a day or 2 a day, and they want to charge an extraordinary amount of money. But what happens if your client cancels?
Right.
Like, to me, I sell the result. Like, people sell an experience, and I get that. I can still deliver a great experience and have 4 people in my salon in an hour that I'm doing their hair. Like, single process. My assistant's blowing out your hair, and then I'm cutting it when you get blown out dry.
Are they all single processes that you're doing?
I would do no full highlights, partial highlights. But to me, Meredith, let's say you come into my salon and it's like, I'm going to talk to you. And let's say I want to fit somebody between you and my next client, but I don't have time to do your full color. And I just got done doing foils. So I'll be like, Meredith, when's the last time we did highlights? You're like, oh, it was a while ago. I couldn't fit you in for that. So I'm just having you do my roots. I'm like, do you want me to throw a couple foils in for you today? And you're like, I would love if you could do that. All right, no doubt. I'm literally using the same bleach
from the other person.
I'm throwing in 5 highlights.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have Jen, my assistant, put your roots on. You were in for roots anyway. So I'll say to you, is it cool if I throw a couple foils in? You're like, yes, obviously. I'm like, is it cool if Jen just throws her color on? That way we get the foils in? Yes. So you're always saying yes to me getting help. Now Jen is getting the chance to work on you. And my job is to get Jen obviously skilled enough so she can put your color on. Now we're at the sink and I'm putting the glaze on, everything else. I'm like, does your hair feel dry? She's like, it does feel dry. I'm like, do you want to do a mask? I'm like, I'll do a complimentary mask on me. I'm like, but is it cool if Jen just blows you out? I'll cut you dry. Yes. So again, I just threw 4 foils in. Jen did your single. Jen's blowing you out. I'm cutting you dry. We're just doing a basic little reshaping anyway. You got the result that you wanted. You also got highlights that you wanted. You got cut. You got a mask. Your experience was fucking phenomenal. And so you leave there like, oh my God, I had such a great experience here. That's how I created my experience. I didn't do the blowout. I didn't do the single process. I didn't wash your hair. So I bought back my time by having an assistant. To me, assistants shouldn't just be washing bowls, doing nothing. They should truly assist in the flow and the client experience. So that's how I was able to do 4 or 5 people, within an hour and a half in a salon, unless it was like, sitting there foiling away.
Right.
But other than that, like I always work with an assistant, and I always cut dry. So I created my customer experience so I could truly maximize my full day. And you know what? If 2 clients canceled or moved around, I didn't care because I still had 8 people in my book. And clients would call and be like, hey, is it cool if I come in at 12 instead of 11? I'm like, just come whenever you want. And so when they walked in, I'm like, give me 2 minutes. I'm like, I know your appointment was for 12 or 11. I'm like, and so they knew they were coming in late, or I convenienced them. So that gave me the opportunity now to have one of my staff members put their color on or jump into the service.
Yeah.
So I was always a high volume stylist. Mm-hmm. Whereas for some reason, our people watching this right now and our new stylists today get stressed out and they can't handle that kind of volume. I was also a Marine, right? So I'm used to chaos. I was a bartender in nightclubs. I'm used to serving drinks to 20,000 people throughout the night. Like, it was just, I have that personality. Like, even right here, I'm speaking fast. Like, I'm just fast.
Yeah, you're just good at multitasking.
And to me, it was like, people are like, I don't want to give that kind of experience for my clients. Well, don't you want them to get them in? Like, isn't it better you doing their hair instead of pushing them off for 2 weeks when you could fit them in? Like, that's the experience I give. I always was convenient. I'm going to take from the top of the 4 aspects of our business.
I did write the 4 aspects down, by the way, and my notes, and I left them at home. Yeah, I was at work one day, and I was listening. I wrote down the 4 pillars, but as you go, it'll start clicking in my brain.
Yeah, cool. All right, so there's 4 aspects of our business. There's customer service, convenience, price, and product. Now, as long as you're hitting down on all 4 aspects of your business, you're going to be successful. But I'm huge in convenience. So not just convenience, talking about like your parking lot. Obviously, you got to make sure you have parking for people. You got to make sure you're conveniently located. But convenience for my schedule. There's so many hairstylists out there that leave a salon, they go to a suite, and they want to cut their hours back and be more convenient for their life, but yet they're not convenient for the customers. You need to be convenient for people, especially if you're not making money. You need to come in on Sundays. You need to come in on Mondays. You need to work Tuesday night. It doesn't matter until you get built up. Then you could scale back a little bit. But if you got bills to pay, like you got to come up with 30 grand for that mortgage. Right. You were probably super convenient for people. Yeah. And your customer service was top notch. Yeah. You got to be grateful. There's a suite and there's a salon on every corner. So if you're not really delivering customer service, convenience, your product isn't good, then you really can't charge much. But if your product's amazing, you're super convenient, you got great customer service, guess what? The price of your product, you could raise it as much as you want. When I say product, guys, I mean services, right?
Right.
So, I mean, not just you, anyone listening, because you got some new people listening possibly. And people ask, when can I raise my prices? Or how do people charge so much? Ted Gibson charges $2,600 a haircut. Does he have some magical powers with scissors? I mean, not really. A haircut's a haircut.
$100 for a haircut?
$2,600 for a haircut.
$2,600?
$2,600 for a haircut.
Who's doing that?
Ted Gibson.
It's a name.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ted Gibson. And the best part is, and this not even to bring us up, but he's been doing hair for, a long time. I mean, he's not famous. It's not Mel Gibson's son, right? He's a black dude who cuts white people's hair, and he charges $2,600 a haircut. So for anyone out there who thinks they can't do it, guess what? You can do it.
You can do it.
It's going to be the best haircut ever.
It's going to be amazing. But guess what? The experience is amazing.
That's right.
Right. So when I talk to people and they're like, I'm a guy, I got to be a barber. No, you don't. You can cut anyone's hair. You can get into this field and still do it. Because I used to think like that, right? Like when I started doing hair, like, who's going to come to me? I'm a straight dude. I'm not gay. I wasn't Marine. Like, I'm not really flamboyant. You don't have to be.
I was just telling Herschel, I think that women love men hairdressers. I think that obviously what your skill, like who you are and everything that you bring to the table, but I've been doing hair since 2007 and I can see it whether you're gay or not. Women love going to men hairdressers. They love it.
We put these limited beliefs on ourselves based on societal roles and genders and whatever the hell you got to experience in life. Like you don't have to listen to anybody. Right. Like if you like doing hair, like I actually loved doing hair when I was a kid. Like I liked going to the salon, smelling the perms, like watching the chemicals. My sister did hair. Like it was cool for me. But I had to go through that stigma of like people making fun of you for doing women's hair. Get over it. Right. The cool thing was this. I'll tell you guys a funny story. So when it comes to doing hair, I was in the Marine Corps and I was in Thailand at this time. And like we were out bar hopping. We walked into the salon and, everyone was talking to the girls in the salon. Like we walked in there and we were like flirting, joking around. We're like, come on out with us, come to the bars. And they're like, no, we got to work. And they like betting in Thailand too, by the way. I was like, if I could do her hair better than your hair, you come out with us? And they started laughing. And they were like, yeah. So I took her to the sink, shampooed her, started rough drying her, started blowing her out, and their fucking jaws hit the ground.
Because it was the best.
And all my boys who would make fun of me were like, bro, that was the coolest thing ever. You got to show me how to do that. So it's like it doesn't matter if you're watching this and you want to do women's hair, do women's hair. You want to be a barber. Like there's so many avenues in this career to be successful. Like you could do anything you want. Meshes, extensions. You want to educate. Like Herschel, you can get her suite to the next level, and you could scale that into a 10-person salon. And that roadmap that you took from suite to salon owner, like you could package that up and sell that, and you could become a coach.
Sure.
And now you have a digital product that teaches it. Like our industry, and this is why I love our industry, and I said it saved my life, is because there's so many avenues you can go down to be successful. Like a bridal business, a blowout bar. You could be a makeup artist. You could be an extension person. You could buy real estate and then create suites for people. What do you, like? You could do anything.
Yeah.
And so people tell me that I can't do it because of the economy. It's August, so I'm slow. Like everyone will have an excuse of why you can't do certain things. And to be honest with you, they're just excuses. And they're just stories you tell yourself on why you're not successful. And it all comes down to the choices you make and the decisions you make. And it's totally up to you.
Sure.
And your belief behind it all.
Well, Nick, I have to tell you that, my wife and I, we were in the house one day. I don't know how long ago this was, but, we were talking about being coached up, and your name came up, and there was another name. And Meredith, she wanted me to listen to both educators. And when I listened to you, and she was asking me what my thoughts were, and I was like, okay, well, he's wired. You could tell he has like an entrepreneur.
He's a guy too, though. Like you don't listen to a lot of females talk.
You could tell like he has like an entrepreneur mindset, and you could tell like he's definitely like someone that loves doing. He's very passionate. Like you can tell like he loves doing what he's doing to help elevate you to your higher self. So I said, if we're going to roll with someone, we probably want to get underneath someone like him, because you can tell if we hold on to what he's putting out there, we're going to go up. There's no question. Like we'll just go up to the higher level. You know what I mean? So I just said, let's take a dive into being coached by you, and let's see how we can elevate what we're doing over here from, just being, with Meredith being a hairstylist or hairdresser, from even being a podcaster, how we can help out, inspire other people, hairdressers, aspiring hairdressers, to help elevate their game as well, But I said like one step at a time, because that's where we're at. That's why we have you here. That we have like this vision of her and I, husband and wife doing this together on this road, and helping out, just people along the way.
Yeah, you have to follow your greatest passion. Sure. And if you guys ever read the book, the book Think and Grow Rich, it's a classic. Napoleon Hill, read the book. I think it was written in the 1930s. There's so many books about metaphysics and law of attraction, all that back in the day, but you need to have a purpose. Like, what is your definite chief aim and purpose? That's like one of the laws of success. And then there's other guys out there. Bashar, you know what Bashar is?
I've heard of Bashar.
Bashar is a spiritual. He channels a spirit. It's Daniel Enkin. That's his real name. Bashar is his spiritual name. It's kind of like Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks, when Abraham channels through her. It's really weird to watch, but it's kind of cool. He talks about following your greatest passion. And when you follow your greatest passion, you get put in flow state. Like when I do these podcasts or calls or my coaching calls, or I'm talking to, it could be a person at a bagel shop and they make their own cream cheese. And I'm talking about, you got to document the cream cheese, how you're making it. What's your Instagram? Let me see it. Like these are homemade bagels. And I create a whole strategy for them. And I just get into my state of mind. Like that's where I love to be. That's my greatest passion. It's helping people, but it's like business. Like in America here, you're going to hear me say on my podcast that I do, and even in our coaching calls, it blows my mind how many people take for granted that they live in America. And you got to tell me something. I ask people this all the time. I taught this in a business class I taught a long time ago. And I would ask the class because they were giving me excuses. And I'm like, how many people in this class speak English? You guys understand what I'm saying, right? So they're like, yes, good, raise your hand. Cool. How many people in this class can do currency, do math with the American currency? Like if I give you a 20, can you give me change? Can you break a 20, give me a 5, a 10, 5 singles? Good. Everyone can, right? Fantastic. All right. How many people in this class know more than one person here in America? Obviously, you guys know each other. So why is it that a man could come here from a different country, not know our language, not know our currency, not know another person here in the United States, and become a millionaire within 5 years? Because you're all fucking lazy. That's why.
Yeah, that's so true. That's why people don't like Americans.
And it's like, and people want to talk about our country. Like, I don't care who's president. I'm still going to make money tomorrow. Like, granted, there are some political rules that might hurt you, but there's a way around it. Like, you always have to find the obstacle is the way. So the obstacle will create the opportunity for you. So I don't care who's president. I don't care what time of month it is. I don't care like what season it is. I don't care. It's slow because it's August. I don't care about sweets. Nothing will stop me because that's my mindset. And when you have your greatest passion, when you find it, it's inevitable. You love doing it. I could do it every day. That's success to me.
Yeah.
I got a question before you go on.
Yeah, please go ahead.
You know, I was thinking when I'm watching you, like I can just sit and watch you like all day, right? And so you're at a certain level, right? In your industry, right, where you're coaching others. How do you inspire those that are not on your level to bring them up to where you're at? Because I've noticed just in some of our podcasts where, you know, people, you could tell like they're hungry. They just don't know how to get there. Like, you know, whether it's their lack of confidence or, you know, whether they're not putting out enough content, there's something that they're missing, but they want to grasp a hold of something to help bring them up. So how do you help, you know, when you see that? Because obviously you see that you're at a certain, Nick, you're at a certain level, right? That's why
I love your question.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'll let you answer it.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I'm not even anywhere close to where I want to be. I should be where Alex Hormozi is at. I should be where Gary Vaynerchuk is at. Like that's who I'm comparing myself to. Yeah. Like there's no reason why I can't be. I just made really poor decisions and I have to like make up for them now. That's where I should be. And that's like when people have like role models, I know that's possible. They second guess it. There's nothing I can't do. And I'm not saying that to be cocky. I'm saying that because I believe in myself. But to answer your question, like how to get somebody motivated, it's pain. Like they have to understand that on the other side of not doing that task is pain. I'm not feeding my daughter. What kind of man am I? Like I want to be a role model to my son. So to me, if I don't follow through with my word, that will bring me so much pain because then that lessens me of a father, that lessens me as a husband. And people only do things for two reasons. They're either avoiding pain or they're seeking pleasure. That's it. So I'm seeking pleasure. So I'm going to the bar to drink to avoid the pain that I can't pay my bills. It makes no fucking sense to me. So to me, it's like, I want to find my greatest passion and I want to run as far away from pain as I can. And that's what's fueling me. So when I lay in bed and I'm like, and I don't want to go to the gym that day, is that helping me dance with my daughter at her wedding? Like that's one of my fitness goals. I want to be able to dance with my daughter at her wedding. And it's not. So do I want to be in a wheelchair? Do I want to be dead? Do I actually want to have some other man walk my daughter down the aisle? No, I don't want that. I don't want my family to die because I'm unhealthy. So I tie so much around pain. And that's why I do these things at the level that I do them at, because in my mind, I get to such a dark place that I don't want to have that happen in my reality. And so I don't do it to a point to attract it. And I push pleasure off as far as I can. So that instant gratification of like the Rolls Royce or the Ferrari, I punt that to reinvest in my business. My wife wants to kill me for it, hates me for it, but I rather punt the success and the fake. Like I don't need a Lamborghini, I don't need the Rolls Royce, I don't need the big house right now because I know that if I have 10 salons, that recurring revenue coming in from building an online business or my salons, just the cash flow opportunity. I could then buy the house and not worry about any money. I don't need to struggle. And I can have everything I want. Yeah. So I'm willing to live like no one else will now, so I can live like no one else can later. And I had the mentors. Like I hired the coaches, I read the books, and I wasn't successful like in my 20s and early 30s. And I'm not successful now. And like, what am I doing wrong? The thing I was doing wrong was I wasn't living to my greatest passion, but I didn't have discipline. Right? I just wasn't listening to myself. And when you don't follow your own word, when you tell yourself tomorrow's the day I go to the gym and you don't, you lie to yourself. And so your confidence that you're going to actually follow through on something, it weakens more and more. Like it's less and less. And so you have to listen to yourself. You have to take your own word. When you say you're going to go to the gym tomorrow morning and you're going to stop eating Doritos, you have to do that. And so it starts with the conversations you have with yourself. And the reason why people have negative self-talk is because they lie to themselves and they don't follow through. And so if I talk to people, like you asked me, like, how do you get people to really like follow through and like and raise their level? Well, what do you want to do first off? What's your vision? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? What experiences do you want to have in life? Give me all of them. Like, I want to know everything you want to do with your life. I want to know what you want to experience. Do you want to eat French food in Paris? Do you want to have Italian food on the Amalfi Coast in Italy? Do you want to own a yacht in Miami? Like, what do you want? You want to just coach soccer and you're cool with that with a white picket fence in the middle of Ohio? That's awesome too. That's your greatest passion. What experiences do you want to have? Number two, what kind of person do you need to become to make those experiences possible? Like, are the actions you're doing today going to help you get there? And if not, you have to change them.
Yeah.
And so it's up to me to bring out what their experiences are, what do they really want, and then we have to take a look at their actions and habits. Like, this person you are right now does not deserve that kind of success. So smoking weed in your parents' basement all day, playing on the fucking Xbox, that's not going to help you build your salon. This is not going to do it. So you have to kill this person you are now in order to become that person you need to be. And like, I'm big into David Goggins. I'm big into Eric Thomas. Like, when I work out, it's just motivational videos. Like this morning, I'm crying while I'm working out. Thank God it's like 5 a.m. No one's in the gym. Right. And I pace back and forth. I'm doing a kettlebell swing. And it's like one of these motivational videos with like Goggins or somebody else about like life and the pain and pushing through. And I put myself in such a dark place that I do 5 more reps, that I do another set.
So you do a lot of like the pain point marketing though, because you're like pointing it on the pain.
Yeah, like your market, you're not slow in August because it's August. You're slow because your marketing sucks.
Yeah.
And then people fight with me about that. I'm like, well, it's true. Like, somebody just told me that. It was like something about like everything that like it's your fault that you're unhappy in your salon. And they're like, well, my boss is a dick. I'm like, well, why didn't you leave?
Right.
Well, I couldn't. Well, it's a choice. You're choosing not to see the other opportunities for you. So believe me, it's your choice that you stayed there. It's your choice you didn't speak up. It's your choice you didn't get busy enough so you can negotiate your commission. Like, if a meteor hit my house right now, that's my fault. I didn't donate to the company that could have actually seen the meteor coming, that could have shot it out of space. So in reality, yeah, it's my decision. It was my choice. And when you take extreme ownership for every aspect of your life, guess what that does? It gives you back control again.
Yeah.
And so many people just want to punt control of somebody else. They want to wait for their money to get paid from COVID. They want to get their unemployment check. They want to have their boss give them clients. They want to, whatever the hell they want to do. You have to take ownership of every aspect of your life, starting with your fitness, starting with your self-talk, starting with where you get your clients from. If you are the type of stylist, and let's say we're going to talk commission salons right now, and I just posted about this, be so valuable that you're irreplaceable. Like, if you bring in so much value to your salon, you make your salon so much money, guess what happens? You can go to your boss and negotiate whatever commission you want, as long as it's win-win, like as long as it's like fair. You could say, I want 60%. Well, we can't afford that. Put me on 1099, make me an independent contractor. I'm handling the marketing for the salon. Let me do this, let me do this, let me do that. And then you can negotiate your commission.
I have so many questions when it comes to that stuff. Like, I have so many. I know you talked to Gina a little bit about it, but I'm just still confused. When I was in Colorado, I was being paid a 1099, being treated like a W-2, and then we all have to fill out the SS8 form to have her, audited because she's, basically taking advantage of us. And now I'm hearing, like, something about how you're able to pay your 1099 employees 70% commission, but I thought a 1099 was completely responsible for everything that they do, their money, everything. Like, I have so many questions when it comes to that.
So this is how this works. I'm structuring it a couple different ways. My salon is here to facilitate an environment and perform a transaction between two people. I facilitate the currency exchange and the environment for people to get their hair done. My operating agreement has nothing to do with doing hair. Okay, let's just so LLC 1, okay, LLC Salon is strictly there just to facilitate an environment for independent stylists to conduct services in. Now, and a transaction. Now, the LLC Salon uses a staffing agency, LLC Staffing, right? Want to calm them down? Yeah, fine. LLC Staffing. So now the transaction that happens is between the staffing company and the independent contractor. not the salon.
Oh.
So that's one way you do it, right? So that LLC pays that stylist. Now, there's no mislabeling or misuse or anything because the salon's LLC isn't doing any kind of currency exchange.
I see.
And so that staffing LLC could be in Wyoming or Delaware or somebody like that. It's a state with no state income tax, anonymity, so no one knows who owns it. And now you are completely compliant with the state laws and the IRS. You're not misclassifying anyone. And as long as your operating agreements are conducive to that, and the independent stylists have they're free to work wherever they want.
Right.
They can make their own hours. So what I do is I form a contract. So what are your hours? Like what hours do you want to work? And so we write that down. We initial it. So you're responsible for being here from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Monday. That's what you agreed to. So if you don't do that, then you're violating the contract, which independent contractor, you guys have an agreement, a contract. So I'm not telling you when to work. You're telling me when you want to work. And I'm running ads to get you busy so you can do clients in that time. And that's why I give 70%. Here's the deal. I don't want to cover your 15% payroll tax. Like that doesn't help me. That doesn't help you. So here's another scenario, Meredith. You guys have kids, right?
Yep.
You got plenty of kids, actually. You can't write off daycare for your kids. You can't. It's not, you can't write that off in your tax. There's no tax code for that. But what you can do is now that you're an independent contractor in my salon, you have your own LLC and you're doing extensions. You're doing like $5,000 a week, $6,000 a week. You're crushing it. You can have, I forget what the number is, but each child you could pay them $15,000. Guess where their daycare gets the check written out of? Their checking account. So guess what you just deducted indirectly? Holy shit, but you can't do that if you're a W-2 employee.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So same thing for like a private school too?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So guess what? Private school checks out of that account. Yeah. And so now your kid, you need new cleats for baseball. Guess where that's coming out of? Their checking account.
Oh my goodness. That is genius.
Yeah. So you can now write that off, but you can't do that as a W employee. You can't write your cell phone off. You can't write your clothes off. So to me, let me educate my staff on the value of being independent, but let me now take advantage of them. So we start at 50, we cap at 70. And so they truly are independent because I'm also not a licensed salon, a PMA. That's a whole.
I know. I have so many questions about the PMA too.
You could ask those questions too. But as a private membership association, I don't have employees, I have members. And so
for your membership then and your 1099, 70% commission employees, are you
it's a sliding scale. So that's why we started 50. Yeah. So we 50-50 in the beginning. If you're hourly, but you're 50-50, and then you go to 55, then 60, then 65, and then you cap at 70.
Are they providing all of the stuff or are you?
We provide it all. So the transaction, what we do for color is parts and labor. So when you come in and get a highlight, I ring you out at $300. I'll give you a scenario. You come to the front desk. I'm walking Meredith up. All right, Jen, Meredith got a full highlight. We did 2 bowls of bleach and a bowl of color. So the bowl of bleach gets wrung out like a retail product so the commission gets only given on the labor, not the parts. So the parts go back to the salon to replenish the color. And that way it's fair for everybody. And so the client using the color, because she has a lot of hair or not a lot of hair, gets charged per use of the color. That goes back to the salon. So now I don't have to charge you a fee, like take that extra 10% or $3 or whatever that is. To me, that didn't sit right as a stylist. I created this with me in mind as Nick the stylist. How would I like to be treated now if I actually had the say of how to own a salon? And so my team, they don't work as hard as they should.
So you thought of this model yourself?
What'd you say?
You thought of this model yourself?
This is a combination I took from all my videos and podcasts and all my research I've done.
That's amazing.
Well, I feel like, this is like the golden egg right now. And I think, for those that are listening, don't forget to like, share, comment on this. We have Coach Mirabella in the house right now, so put some respect on it. I think there's so many different avenues that we can go around with Coach Mirabella. And, this is such a blessing, to hear what you're saying. And I'm telling you right now, we have some people that own salons in our area that listen to our show, And I know they're going to be they're hungry. They're very hungry right now. And I think a couple of them are actually, they're under you, because we could see the network a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And there's a couple hairdressers in the area that are following you. And I just, I want to make sure that, that we're liking, sharing, commenting.
Please no. I'm at Nick Mirabella. But,
And
you guys have to understand, and anyone listening, not to cut you off, but stylists, have these conversations with your owner. Hey, I heard this thing. Can we do this? Like, try and make it work. And there's going to be people out there in California who say it's illegal. And go to my podcast on 1099. I break it all down for you. It's not illegal. To have the 1099 employees is illegal.
That's what was happening to me in Colorado.
Well, that's illegal. But there's an ABC test, absence of control, the type of business that's being ran, and then what is the other one? The C stands for something else. I forget what it is right now. But if I don't control your schedule, I don't actually cut hair. My salon's purpose is to facilitate an environment to have independent stylists cut hair in. That's our operating agreement.
I want a salon like he has.
Yeah. So there's a way to make this work, especially having a couple different LLCs, a staffing company. Like you have to understand, when you go to an accountant or you go to a lawyer, never ask them if this is possible. They're going to tell you no because they're lazy. Ask them, how do I make this possible? How do I make this work? And there is a way to do it. Now, you might get a letter from your state or from the IRS saying you're misclassifying people. Don't get scared. Show them that, no, I'm not. This LLC hires a staffing agency that pays the independent stylist. I don't control their schedule. I don't control anything. So, Your Honor, they're actually wrong. And then you just run it to court. This is a beautiful country. We have a court system. And as long as you don't get scared and back down, you have the right to plead your case. And what happens is we get scared when we get that letter from that 3-letter agency. And we're like, well, let's settle out of court. Let's settle. I don't settle shit. I started my salon during the pandemic. Like, I opened it up during the shutdown. So that's how much I believe in like the pain.
Wait, you went against the state ban to work?
Yeah. So I had a salon get shut down. That was a public hair salon. The governor and us had words in my state. I was on like CNN, Fox. You can probably find the old video somewhere talking about how we're going to open up. My old partner didn't want to follow through with it last minute, which, we had a partnership. I had to respect him. He's got to respect me. And we did hair anyway. Like we did hair in our salon. We just shut the blinds, but I wanted to open up publicly. So we pushed it off another 2 weeks, right? We're going to open in 2 weeks. That's when like a lot of the drama was happening and the cops were being used somewhere else. So long story short, that's when my friend's gym opened up a PMA, and not the one in South Jersey, a different PMA. And they went to court with the town and they won. And then there's a daycare that opened up that wasn't letting their kids wear masks. And then someone stepped in and had words with them. Like, nope, we're private. So that's when I learned about the private domain, like the right to assemble and the right to association. So the First Amendment of the Constitution gives you the freedom to assemble, right? The protection of association. Now, the 14th, the right to private contract, due process. A lot of things are involved in the 14th Amendment as well. And I started learning about our Constitution during the shutdown. And then I realized that the private domain is protected by the Constitution. As long as I'm not operating in the public, like I'm not open to the public, you have to join our PMA. So the State Board of Cosmetology has jurisdiction in the public domain. So is the Attorney General. These Board of Cosmetologies, they all protect the public, and there's a need for them, but not in my salon because I'm not open to the public. I'm private. And so I don't get inspected. Like right now, I have a letter I should have got delivered to the Attorney General. I'm going to have to maybe hand deliver it to him. Like they sent me a letter to cease and desist. I got the letter somewhere around here. And I simply responded back with my own letter, letting them know what my protections are. So I'm not going to shut down. I'm going to open to the public. And so we only function in the private, which were protected by the Constitution, the New Jersey State Constitution and the U.S. Constitution. Thank you, but no thank you, sir. Go to a public hair salon and go break their balls. You're not going to do it to me. Yeah, so that's our PMA. And like the Boy Scouts, the PMA, NAACP, the NAACP is a PMA. So the state of Alabama versus the NAACP, the state of Alabama wanted to get their roster to see who was a member. I think this took place in the 50s. They said, no, you can't have that because we're private. And they lost in federal court. The state of Alabama had to pack sand, and the NAACP was like, nope, sorry, and they won.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Do you have to be your own private entity to be a PMA? Like I can't be a suite and be a PMA because I'm in somebody else's building paying rent.
I'm in somebody's building too, so you could. The only people you're going to serve is going to be private, and you have to talk to your landlord about that.
Okay.
My landlord and I had a conversation, and I signed the lease as a PMA.
Okay.
So, I mean, I actually amended my first lease and I brought the PMA in there. And so like my town tried getting me a couple times, right? Because I threw the fire department out one time because long story short, we took care of it, but they were trying to get me on a certification of occupancy that I couldn't do hair and air for the state or for the town rather. And I have 2 units in my complex. They had the wrong unit. So I let them run this on for a couple weeks and keep pushing paperwork. And then finally I was like, hold on, what building do you have? What unit do you have? They're like, I just pushed as far as I could. And then I was like, no. Here's the CO. You have the wrong one. And so all the work they did just got flushed down the drain.
Right.
Well, I feel like we can keep talking, and I know you're a busy man. I don't know how much time we have, Tony, but there are so many questions I have when it comes to the business because I look at Meredith's.
Well, he's our coach now, so.
Yeah, he's our coach, and that's
Buster,
something
give me a
that we
couple
can-
questions though. Ask me a
we
couple.
can-
I got a couple minutes. You guys do.
So one of the questions that I have is, when I'm looking at Meredith's Gloss Genius, the retail, the percentage is down
Herschel,
very low.
we talked about this already. He's talking about retail, and a lot. I already know how you feel about retail. A lot of my clients are extension clients, and I include their retail in their first
Okay.
investment because I'm making so much money off of the hair.
Yeah.
They're getting all this,
That's a win-win.
right. So that's why my retail looks like it does.
So if you want to make that number look good for you, if you're a numbers guy, Herschel, when you ring them out, you could in the back end take a percentage of that and throw it into the retail.
But does it really matter?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because I talked to the tax guy and he's like, it doesn't matter.
So
Not even for taxes, but for retail versus this. The salon you should have an idea how much retail you move, but how much retail did they buy afterwards?
What is what?
How much retail did they buy after the initial visit?
I mean,
So here's what I would do. I'm not even gonna let you answer. I'm sorry. What you could do is you have the hair extension business. They come into you. I would do a subscription model where they get the shampoo, the conditioner, the whatever products they need, reoccurring every X amount of weeks. And that means they also come in for whatever service they need. I would include a blowout in that and then maybe a move up in
right.
that time. So that would be reoccurring subscription based. So every 6 weeks or 8 weeks, they get charged this.
I just
And
up
then-
the price and then add that into it.
Yep. And so that include, but I would up it with a blowout and I would add some kind of like a retail type of thing. So they feel like they're getting so much more. So it's an irresistible offer.
I do feel like, I'm nowhere near the $2,600 haircut mark, but I do feel like my prices are like decent. So with that, I don't think that I'll have a problem upping it more to add in more for the client.
But subscription model, because once you get that reoccurring revenue, is a business you could sell now. So if you had to ever sell your business, like, yeah, I have 60 clients on reoccurring shipment for their extensions. We're doing this much retail because they may say, no, I don't want the retail. But hey, I tell you what, if you want to keep the products on, all right, so we'll take this down, take that down, take that off. And you're getting the shampoo shipped every 8 weeks now.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like you're downselling and upselling, almost like a click funnel. Like if you like business, and then you just upsell and downsell based on what their needs are throughout the year. And then you change your shampoo out for summer, you make a different one for winter, depending on where you're located. And then you could run all that on the back end with a Shopify type website.
I may have been looking, I may have projected this wrong, but what I was looking at is, as far as, making our online store, having a place where her clients could come and also open up something abroad to where, because Meredith has the resources that she has used to help her understand, like even with the health of the scalp and all that, certain products that she will stick with.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like retail, like a Shopify store.
Right.
Shopify. Okay.
Yeah. I have Shopify. It's what I use for my salon's website. And let me get clarity for people. Shopify is not a third party seller. It's not like Amazon or eBay. Shopify is like WordPress, Wix, Squarespace. It's a website builder that has an e-commerce. Like that's the reason why it exists. So it's meant to sell products. However, it has a website. It is a website builder. So you could have a landing page with no products on it that showcases your extensions and your salon and your hours and all that. So you don't need two websites. You only need one.
I just give that to my web designer and then
Yeah.
he'll do that. Okay.
I mean, if you guys, I build websites too. Like I have a team that does that specifically for salons only. Like I can build anyone's website, but the reason why I do it for salons is because I teach that kind of marketing. So if you wanted to get more clients in your salon, what I believe in is having a Google feed and a Meta feed. You advertise this shampoo to a 7-mile radius around your salon. You can do 10, 12, whatever. I'd like 7. And the person Googling XYZ product comes across your shopping feed or your shopping ad. Well, guess what? They're not my client in the salon. So what I do is they buy this product. My profit's $12. I then get them in my salon. So I retarget them with another campaign. So I'll spend more money trying to get them in my salon, but I already have the profit from the shampoo. So my retargeting campaign goes to 0. So my customer acquisition cost for my salon is actually nothing because I got the local client to come and get a haircut. So I can turn a dial and spend $1,000 a day. It doesn't matter to me because I'm making that on the back end with them getting their haircut at my salon. So that's how I grew the online business to $3 million a year, just strictly off of retargeting ads. And I used that to grow my salon. And then I just grew that national. And then I got my ass kicked international this past year. So I'm back to square one again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I tried selling in Abu Dhabi, UK, Australia, and it was just Europe has different laws with like how you can retarget and market people. iOS, like I got my ass handed to me again. So like, I think I spent like 60 grand in like 2 months on ads. Yeah, that was fun.
But you'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I went back to the States again. I'm going to go slow. Like you learn from your mistakes, but that's how, like when I have salons that are just starting out, I build a Shopify store for them. And then we just do a local ad campaign. And I just want them to get more traffic in the salon. And so you start going there. Then you learn about the shipping. And then I do free shipping over 75. Now I monetize my blogs, not only to get people in my salon because I have better SEO, but now the girl in Indiana reads my top 5 hair shampoo picks. And if she reads that blog, she buys my product.
Are you shipping them out or do you have someone on your team?
I have like behind this wall behind me, I have a whole warehouse.
Okay. And
then
then
I do all fulfillment myself. Yeah. So at one point we had like 8 people working in that side. Now we're down to like 3.
Is this in your house?
No, I started in my garage. No, I have a whole warehouse. Like, so my warehouse salon is in like an industrial park. And so that's where we're shipping products out of that I converted during COVID to a salon.
Okay.
And then now the warehouse, I took another unit over with the garage door. And so we could just bring in pallets of products and ship them out.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like, I mean, Gina Bianca, she has the network. It's like that huge warehouse building. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah, no, I love that model. I haven't been there yet, but I'm thinking I'm going to speak at an event with her in a couple months.
Oh, I want to be there. Let me know.
So part of our podcast, sorry, babe. Part of our podcast is we want to reach out to new hairstylists, aspiring hairstylists that are coming out of school, and one of the questions that we usually ask all the people that come onto our podcast is, what could you do what could you say to them as being a coach? How could they, where should they start at coming into the industry? Because so many different hairdressers that were here in the chair have said different things as far as what the newbie could do to progress. So where do you think that someone new coming into the industry, where do they start? Is this something that they should just jump into a suite? Should they go work for a hairdresser, work in their house? What do you think?
I say find a mentor, find someone who does the type of hair you like, find someone who has the things you want, the business you want, the Instagram you want, the whatever you want. And if it can't be one person, pick 2 or 3. Find them, message them, try and learn from them. Like shadow them if you can. Find someone in your area, the busiest hairstylist. Ask them questions, take them to coffee, take them to lunch, whatever you need to do, see if you can work in their salon. And for the first couple of years, learn as much as you can from every single person. And then you'll create your own independent, like your own style, and not just with cutting hair, but how do they speak to clients? Like how does somebody do 30,000 a month behind the chair? Is it volume? Does that align with your vision? If it doesn't, then maybe I'm not a fit for you. But maybe Meredith is, right? She still does great money, but she has a different business structure. So I'm going to go work with her. Like first, you have to be very clear on what your vision is and what do you want from this career. That's first, because you're going to have to ask yourself questions later on in your career. Does this align with my vision? Does this help me get closer to the goal? And if it doesn't, you don't have to do it. Then you do the other thing that gets you closer to your goal, closer to your vision. But too many young kids are too vague with their goals. Be specific. I want to make $2,000 a week by August 25th to 2025. Put a target on it, put a date on it, and then have a specific goal. Like when people say I want to lose weight, how much do you want to lose? I want to be 185 and 10% body fat by May 20th, 2025. That's my goal. That's my target. So you need to be specific. I want to be booking 2,000 a week. I want to master highlights, like whatever it is, extensions, the certification. Know what your vision is.
Sure.
Because 3 years will pass by and you will have gone nowhere in your career.
Sure.
Because you have no path. You have where you're going. So that's what I would say to them. And then find the people who have the things that you want and then do what they do.
Cool.
And before we close, another thing we do on our podcast, we talk about spirituality and faith. You've mentioned some of the things that when we listen to you, you talk about spirituality and faith. You know, are you a spiritual person? Are you a man of faith?
Yeah, I'm like I literally pray to God every single day. My morning routine, I have a link in my phone, and so when I wake up, I have this is my success statement, and then in my calendar, what I do is, let me get this open for me right here. Refresher point, come on, here it is. I will create the man I admire and give him to the world.
Awesome.
That's my first link, and then I click on a Google Doc, and my form it's my daily morning check-in. I start with thanks and gratitude. And I first thank God for my healthy family, because obviously you have 99 problems till health is one, and then health is your main problem. So health is really important to me. So I thank God for everything in my life. As I'm laying in bed before I do that, I thank God for my bed, thank God for my roof of my head, thank God for my wife. And then anything that happens to me, whether I'm eating food, I try and do like a quick little prayer for gratitude. And so my connection with God's huge. And I do believe in the one source. So a traditional like Roman Catholic religion, I'm not really aligned with anymore. Like I do believe in like I said, the one source. So in the Bible, it talks about like us all being connected, and Jesus called Peter or Paul out into the water to walk. And if he had enough faith, he walked on water. Like you could do anything that Jesus did. He said that in the Bible. Like you can heal. Your word can heal. And so it's important that we understand the power of having faith, the power of God. And sometimes like people won't believe in God, or they're just missing like the fact that God's creating this opportunity for you through an obstacle. The obstacle is a way. So he doesn't love me, or there's no God. Well, what did you not learn from the situation? Like, what are you missing right here? Like these bad things keep happening to you. He's going to get louder and louder. So if you're going down the wrong path, he will make the obstacles really big to prove to you, hey, you're going down the wrong way. I can't get any more clear. So sometimes stop and be like, what is God trying to teach me from this? And then give gratitude for the fact that he had to show you the way. And then the way really does appear. And so for me, everything starts with God, and I end my night with a very similar checklist. And so I started and end the day with thanks to God.
Yeah.
And so that's how I do it. And I've done, from spirituality, I've done 2 ayahuasca ceremonies.
I want to do ayahuasca.
You will meet God. You will meet Jesus.
Did you throw up?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where did you do it? I want to do it.
It is like you die in the not physically. I'm still here, obviously. At least I think I am.
Is it like the show Weeds? Like, is that really what it's like?
I didn't see that episode or that show.
Okay.
It's like whatever's in your subconscious mind, you come to terms with.
Yeah, I would love to do ayahuasca.
It is it's hell. Like it gets really dark sometimes.
Yeah.
Is it dying to yourself, basically? Because this is...
Yeah. I had to come to terms with my own death and realize that I don't exist. But as I went through the ceremony to get to the one source, like people are throwing up, people are crying. Someone's like a fairy is putting dust in a fire. Like it was wild. That was an Indian reservation, Florida. And as I'm going through this, I'm like, how come my life was never really bad? Like I didn't Like I have both my parents still. I never got shot at. I was in the Marine Corps. I have all my limbs. I never like died. I never killed them in a car accident. Like things, knock on wood, nothing ever bad happened to me. But all these bad things happen to them. I'm like, why are these people going through such a bad experience? I'm like, maybe they're going through it for me, so I didn't have to do it. And so when you see somebody going through hard times, I thank them. Like, thank you for having that experience because we're all connected. And so I started getting really spiritual. I'm like, how do I know that? How do I know I didn't die in a car accident 20 years ago and everything that just happened to me is a figment of my imagination and I'm really not even here? And then I'm like, holy shit, I'm fucking dead.
That's crazy.
I don't even exist. And in reality, on a long enough timeline, we don't exist. And then I started thinking about every person being connected as one. And then like the trees and the ground, like it got really heavy for me. And so I had to walk away. And now when I look at like, even like the trees this morning, when I was doing like my little prayer meditation, I was like, they're connected to the soil. We're all stardust. Like we all, like eventually I'm going to go back to the soil again, or I'm going to go to ashes and I'm going to maybe grow as a tree or who knows. And so when you get like that, this earth's an amazing place. Like God built everything, put everything here, and we all are all connected through one source. And ayahuasca helped me really open my mind up to that and my eyes to that. And then my second ceremony was I went with the intention to figure out what I want to do in my life. Right, I was already in my 30s, and it was to help people. That's what came to me, and that's what really first got the coaching itch. And that's why, like, this is my greatest passion. I can do this all day long. I could talk to you guys, and just for me to give it all away and help maybe the person listening to this phone call right now who's thinking about quitting doing hair. And I was able to plant a little seed of hope in his mind that something's possible. That's why I do this.
Good on you.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. Did you just Google ayahuasca retreat?
My friend, believe it or not, my friend was going to the ceremony and he backed out last minute after I booked my trip already. So I had to go by myself.
That's scary.
And I'm glad he didn't go because the second ceremony I did with him, and it was a nightmare because that's where I learned how to help people because I had to help him through it.
Okay.
But it was wild. It was yeah, it was scary. Like it was nuts.
Yeah.
Like it is not like you go to a different dimension.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely intrigued.
Well, wrapping up here, another thing that we do, and I hate to do it, but I have to share you. I have to share it to the other
You're
people.
such a nerd.
Your contact information. We usually when I met Meredith, I noticed that as much as they say that it's not competitive in the hair industry, it's competitive. Like there's a lot of gossiping going on. There's a lot of hate going on, especially if another hairdresser sees another hairdresser just going by leaps and bounds. They tend to hate on that. And I said, babe, you know what? What we're going to do is we're going to love, because love covers a multitude of wrong, right? Or a multitude of sins. So we're going to just love on them. And how we're going to love on people here and right now is sharing your information, because you're definitely someone that can bless others. And I'm telling you right now, there's people that are in the sweet business or owners of salons that are going to want to just get a hold of you. So could you just share your contact information and even like you're a coach too, and if you have like information to that as well?
Of course, yeah, thank you, I appreciate it. So nickmirabella.com, nickmirabella.com is my website. At Nick Mirabella on Instagram. My YouTube channel's youtube.com/Nick Mirabella 1. And then TikTok, I'm Mirabella Nick, because my other account got banned for some reason or kicked off. I don't know what happened. But yeah, and then just message me on Instagram at Nick Mirabella. Shoot me a message.
Cool.
I go live every day at 12. So if you guys want to see, like, have a question, I go live every day at 12. So hop in the comments, ask a question.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all you peeps watching, this is competitive, because now I'm going to
it's
suck up all his
not.
time.
You're
I'm just
so
letting you know, I'm
weird.
going to suck up all his time. I'm going to be like getting
All right.
coached by Nick, because we want to go up higher and higher.
Okay.
So Nick, thank you so much for your time.
Anytime.
And is it Jamie in the background too? Jamie, is that his name?
James in the corner over there, yeah.
James, thank you for your time. If your wife happens to listen, thank you to Mrs. Mirabella for giving your husband's time to us. We appreciate you.
No, she knows.
Nah.
She feels it. I'm always on the phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel it for her. Yeah.
I'm like, Dane, I'm like, what are you doing on your phone? She's like, you're always on your phone. I'm like, I'm working on my phone. I'm like, you should start a coaching business. She's like, shut up, leave me alone.
So thank you everyone for coming out to the ExCo Lounge. And of course, if you're in the Lehigh Valley area and you want your hair done, you want those extensions, you want the mesh integration, please hit up my wife Meredith at excolounge.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.